chair of the session that we are trying to get organized. And we have ITU, WIPO, and True IEEE presentations. And we'll be going through this event as much as we can, as soon as we can. So for the sake of time, let me bring ITU up to the stage, already here. So Inoue-san will do some introduction, and then Reina Maeda will do the discussion. Okay, thank you very much, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me start by thanking IEEE for inviting ITU to share our perspective. Led by Professor Rahman, ITU and IEEE are driving collaboration on a technology roadmap for climate resilience. This collaboration considers policy, business, trade, technology, and standards, and how our actions in these areas can be mutually reinforcing. This holistic approach is essential. We need to work in synergy, committed to partnership and global impact. ITU standards provide technical tools for climate action and measuring our success. My colleagues, Reina Ubeda, will present the latest development in just a moment. I have just one key message for you. The value of standards is largely determined by the strength of our commitment to their development and application. Standards capture consensus on the way forward. They reflect our collective ambitions and resolve. As all of you, whether in government, industry, academia, or civil society, can drive our work with your contributions and consensus decisions. I welcome you to join us. Thank you, and then I will hand over.
Thank you, Mr. Anon. So, as ITU, we are also a standard development organization, and some of our key standards, we work on environment, energy efficiency, and circular economy. So today we are going to focus on those standards that we are helping the industry to decarbonize from energy efficiency, but also on how to measure. So our target is that we have a standard that is a very key important one, that is L1470, that is setting the trajectories of the ICT sector on how to reach the Paris Agreement by 2030 by decreasing 45% of their emission. This standard was approved by the Science Based Target Initiative and was in collaboration with DESA and IEA. These standards is providing guidance to the ICT sector on what are the activities to do to decarbonize, circular economy principles, the use of the renewable energy, the monitoring of the network. Additionally, we have some standards that work on the life cycle assessment of the product. So we have standards that go from a sector point of view, from a product point of view, and an organization. From the sector is the assessment of the ICT sector, the GHG emission impact. This allows us to know what is the impact of the ICT on GHG emission and energy consumption. Some countries are using it. For example, France is one of the countries that use this standard to measure and to collect the data from their operators and manufacturers and vendors. Why? Because France is the only country that is by law collecting data from their from the ICT sector. Then we have some standards at the product level. That is the ICT goods network and services. That is the life cycle assessment. This standard is based on an ISO standard, but has been targeted to the ICT. And it's very well known. It is also in the taxonomy of the European Commission, as it's being used by most of the ICT organizations. Based on this standard, recently, last week, we gave the first step of approval for a standard to assess the environmental impact of AI. The environmental impact of AI. Um, One of the key problems that we have right now, or one of the key issues, is how AI is affecting the environment. So we work for over a year to develop these standards that is based on life cycle assessment and also the enablement aspect of ICT. So these standards will be ready out for public in 2 months, but right now it is under consultation for final approval. Yeah, that's from my side, the kind of standards that we have. So maybe we can hear from you on the report that you work in WIPO for the technology transfer. Thank you.
Yes, well, I just saw that the governor from California was just going next door here. So that's why everybody certainly was moving out of there. But thank you very much for ITU. This is how it is at the COPs, right? We have to adapt. I don't know if this is being recorded or not, but yeah, I don't think anything is being streamed this time. Anyway, yes, WIPO Green, World Intellectual Property Organization. What we do in WIPO Green, being a small unit under WIPO, is that we try to make sure that innovation and technology can play a role in the fight against climate change, food security, and environment. And we do that in many different ways. One of them is that we have a database. It's our main asset of green technologies and solutions. We run acceleration projects, and then we publish the Green Technology Book, which we just launched yesterday. Now, this session here, we're talking about decarbonization, and we see that there are many technologies available for that. In our second edition of the Green Technology Book, we wrote about mitigation technologies, and in there we had several technologies in relation to, for example, steel and iron, and also cement, which are some of the sectors that are really hard to decarbonize. And there we could see that there were many technologies available to electric furnaces, carbon capture systems, also replacing clinker in cement, and many other things that are really important for bringing that down. So even in areas that are really, really hard to abate, like cement and steel, there's a lot of innovation and technology that is on its way. We can also see an energy transition, decarbonizing the energy systems. Of course, we all know some of the more simple ones, but there are many others out there that are available and that can be found in the Green Technology Book that we publish, and that is also available on the online version and free for download. Now, I think that in terms of the general message that we want also to people to understand or get out of when we talk at places like this is that we are definitely in a situation right now where the political will and the interest in general is waning. We don't have the consensus that we need anymore. We often don't have the financing. But what we can see that in terms of energy and innovation and technology, that is coming up. There are many, many solutions. And that is, I think, a source of hope that we will actually be able to do it. Like ITO, you have all the digital solutions also out there. You have your initiative in relation to that. Artificial intelligence is making a huge difference. And that helps the technologies to become good business. And if it's good business, you don't need political will, because it will happen all by itself. And that is really what we're going to arrive at, and that's one of the main messages that we are trying to increasingly to promote in WIPO Green and show that is how it works. So with that, I think I'll stop here for the time being.
Thank you very much. I'm Saifur Rahman. I'm the 2023 IEEE President. I am here to represent IEEE, and my colleague on the way talk about IEEE's work in Amazon area. So first of all, I'm a power engineer. If you know about the carbon dioxide emission regime, 1/3 electric power, 1/3 transportation, 1/3 industry, and buildings. Roughly 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. We are focusing on electric power generation because that's what my background is. I will tell you, in electric power generation area, a lot of questions. America, Europe, telling China, you're producing too much CO2, shut down the coal plant. China says it is true, but if you look at CO2 per person, we are much less than US. That's true. The two charts, CO2 per country, CO2 per person. Per country, China 1, India 2, US 3 or 4. Per country. Per person, China number 10. US number 1, India number 8. This is the fight here. What do you do? So I said to my people, I don't want to fight. Because fighting not getting anywhere. The other issue is, USA, China, you're producing 15 billion tons per year. True. Highest. Maybe 20. But if you look at the history, CO2 goes there, doesn't get lost, stays there for 150 years. If I look at the data, 1980 and behind, 100 years, 10 countries, US, Europe Union, Japan, some others, produce 90% of CO2. Historically, 90%. So the CO2 in the sky has US flag on it, UK flag on it, EU flag on it. That's the debate. So what do? We all have a responsibility to be citizens responsible to protect the earth. We all know that. Then I said, fine, let's do what every country can do in the power sector to reduce emissions. Power sector, mainly coal and oil mostly now. Nuclear is coming up slowly. I have 6-point solutions that I presented in Dubai 2 years ago. One is, you should use less electricity. For example, if I dim this light by 20%, you cannot tell the difference. Cannot tell the difference. So why not dim it? Nobody cares. Number 2, if you control the temperature in your air conditioner. Here they keep 22, US will keep 19 on 20. India keeps 20, 23. In the US, I've done research. If I reduce my increase temperature 20 to 22, I save 15% electricity, 15%. 2 degrees, I cannot feel it. Why not do this? Again, it's cultural issues. So that's the efficiency part of it. Second is, we cannot shut down coal plants overnight. Today, globally, we have 1,000 plus coal plants operating, plus 1,000. Cannot shut them down overnight. So what I said, if you build new coal plants, do 2 things. Build more efficient plants that burn less coal. That is available today, you can buy that technology. And the technology for extracting CO2 from the atmosphere, or carbon capture. Capture it and hold underground. Costs money, but better than shut down the coal plant. I go to South Africa, go to China. They're saying, if you force me to shut down the coal plant, we can, but it's not only electricity. People live in this town. The coal plant operators' families live here, go to school here, hospital here. Who will pay for these things? That debate is going on in this world today. COP29 in Baku, 28 Dubai, they talk about loss and damage fund. The developed countries who have historically added CO2 in large numbers have agreed to put money, $100 billion in that fund. And China can use part of their money to build more solar. India can build more efficient plants, possible. But they promised the money, but not transferred the money. Loss and damage fund, not transferred. So debate on Baku was, who will run the fund? Nobody agreed yet. So if you look at the statement by the president of COP30, Ambassador Andre Coelho, he said, let's forget about all these agreements. Let's implement the solutions, implement them. That's my presentation, how to implement. Like I said, reduce the lighting intensity, reduce temperature, build more coal plants, promote more renewables. You know, China is blamed for CO2 emissions. It's true, it's a fact. But China has installed solar and wind 1/3 of the world's total. The world has produced 1,000 units, China has 400 units in China installed. So this is the fact. So this is I call promote more renewables. Do that. Today, solar power is more cheapest than any other power source. Nuclear, coal, oil, gas, everything. But it doesn't. Sun doesn't run at night. What do? You put solar. You can do that. It costs money. That money part is the screw. If US, UK, US will give you the money, then you can do that. That's number 4. Number 5 is cross-border power transfer. Very few countries, if any, are fully independent in domestic power generation. US buys from Canada today. France sells to Spain, Portugal. South Africa sells some little bit. China sells to Vietnam. It's going on, possible. And finally, last one is promote, not promote, accept some nuclear. Fukushima accident, Chernobyl accident, people are against nuclear by instinct. Nuclear is bad, which is true. And now new technologies of small reactors, 50, 60 megawatt as opposed to 1,000 megawatt, are much safer and also faster production quickly. That's a possibility. And finally, I had a video I can show now. We're going to also use renewable energy for our sustainable climate in the sense of biodiversity. In the global market, biodiversity is a big challenge. So I've seen a project in China. You know pandas. We all know pandas, of course. Another animal protected called snub-nosed monkey, protected, like pandas. They live in a forest in China. They are leaving the place because of too much noise and diesel engines. They move up. When you go up, elevation up, you have less vegetation. Higher elevation, less trees. They have not much to eat, they die. What the government did, they built solar panels, replacing diesel engines. Now no noise, no smell. Monkeys are coming back. So these people who are focused on biodiversity have another reason to support solar energy, not for you and me, our home, but for forest applications. So those are things happening today. My plan is we'll publish it to let the world know this is possible. And you as an individual, could be South African, could be American, could be Chinese, could be whatever, Japanese, you have a role to play. So I'm a professor, that's my profession. So my focus is, I'm going to educate as much people can. So you as an individual take some responsibility and then help out. So we'll stop here and take questions, comments, any question?
Thank you.
It's working, it's working. Hey.
Thank you, Professor. If I could ask, you mentioned that just the cost of doing, one of the challenges is the cost of doing solar, and I'm just interested in, is that the case where you'd say between a coal and a solar investment that actually is incrementally more expensive to do solar than it would be to do coal?
No, coal is more expensive than solar today. The problem is solar takes a lot of land. 1 megawatt of solar, 2 hectares of land, 2 hectares, megawatt. Coal, 1 megawatt take maybe quarter hectare of land. We must have unused land like Saudi Arabia floating around. That is okay.
Right. No, thank you. Thank you very much.
I've been speaking to a lot of startups here in COP who are doing some amazing work. So how would you recommend, Peter, in that case, what would be the benefits of them joining the WIPO Green platform?
Well, thank you. Well, at the WIPO Green platform, we have a database where all small and all companies basically can upload their solutions, their technologies for free. So it's basically just a matter of register, upload it, and then it's being matched against everything we have in the database, needs and other things also. So that's one of the things they can do it. We can also contact us through the acceleration projects we do at the moment in 13 different countries. So that's a possibility also for getting involved in it and provide solutions to the needs that we identify out there.
If I want to go to WIPO platform, you have a website, you can tell me the URL, link? What is it? You know?
Yeah, well, Google WIPO Green, then you will get it.
Forgive me, one other question if I could, and you may have spoken to this before. Does your platform talk about things like, let's say, chemical sector, decarbonization, some of these, I think, challenges, especially for developing
Chemical
countries?
section,
Yeah,
chemical. Not much, but I have links. If you go to my website, it's called sustainable energy.ieee.com. For all of that, go to Google and IEEE sustainable energy. That web has a lot of links and also a lot of case studies.
I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on how AI is going to either transform or worsen decarbonization more generally.
Well, it can go both ways because AI data centers, huge sink for electricity. I live in Virginia. My state is hosting world's highest number of data centers, highest in the world. And each building got 500 megawatt, 1,000 megawatt, like a small city. So where the power coming from? My case, coal and gas in Virginia. That's not acceptable. They're polluting the atmosphere. So AI can, well, where I live, Microsoft, AWS, Google, Meta, Alibaba Cloud have data centers. Talk to them. I said, why don't you make it more efficient? It costs money. True. So because when you use ChatGPT, I don't pay any money. It's free, right? So they have to make money somewhere. So they're trying to do it cheaper. But if you forget AI data center challenge, AI as a whole is useful because you can use AI to predict sunshine intensity tomorrow, day after, and the like. With that information, you can know I have shortage of so much solar tomorrow morning. What do I do? If you can provide an alternative, then people will trust you more. People ask me the question, what happens tomorrow morning? I can answer that question. AI can do some forecasting that will help you to predict the future, I mean not 10 years, few days, and give that answer. Sometimes we can borrow energy from a neighboring company tomorrow morning, a little bit, and do that. Happening today, Saudi Arabia and UAE are interconnected. Both of them have a lot of solar. When the sandstorm happens, they lose 30%, 40%. Not daylight, nighttime, that issue. So when Abu Dhabi and UAE is short, Saudi sends them electricity and vice versa. I help them to give you some 9, 10, 12-hour notice. Do this. 1 second. Can you hook up the laptop here? So my point is, I was in an event yesterday. They say AI will solve the world's problem. No. No. Because you create more problems. So I was asked this question in an event in China by students. how should I use AI? My answer is use AI as your assistant, not your teacher. The difference. You must have domain knowledge yourself. That is your field of interest. Ask AI some questions. You know, AI has sometimes bogus answers, not relevant. But if you are not knowledgeable, you'll accept it. If you know what is the possibility, then you will go back and say, redo this calculation. So in that sense, it's useful. But do not assume AI is going to solve your problem from 0 to 100. It is not going to solve it unless you know what questions to ask. Example, if you put now on Google distance between Belém and Brasilia, come back with a few hundred kilometers, takes about less than half a second or less. And my engineering background, it takes 3 milliwatt of electricity, 3 milliwatt. Milliwatt is 1,000th of a watt. 3. Google. ChatGPT, same question. It'll take 100 times more electricity, 100 times. It goes all over the world to find an answer. And then gives an answer. Because Google is very specific. Belém, Brasilia, distance, three things, done. But you go to the same thing in ChatGPT, they go Belém, what Belém, which Belém, is it Africa Belém, China Belém, Saudi Belém, they figure this out. They have a lot of data in their background. They cannot pinpoint quickly. They'll give an answer. If you have no idea, their answer is good. I mean, is useful. You know, you heard the term hallucination? This is hallucination. You'll keep on going a wild goose chase. So, again, answer is use it with caution, and you are the boss. You decide.
But it's slated. It's taking over. I mean, the use of ChatGPT has got to be taking over the use of Google, and so no one really knows what kind of effect this is having in terms of emissions and whether we're going to move fast enough with our decarbonization of data centers. So it's actually quite a, I mean, it could be quite a problem that no one can quite.
My job as president of IEEE is to exactly that, to educate the public that do not go blindly with what ChatGPT tells you. It has a cost. I don't see that power station producing coal-based electricity and running the data center. As a citizen, I don't see that. But I see as a scientist happening. It's my job to make that known to everybody. This is you're causing this. Like, why do you put speed limit on highway? Reduce accidents. Less accidents, highway speed. People understand that. That's why they will not, most of the cases, violate the limit because it is a health safety issue. If you can frame this as a safety and global warming issue, then people begin to pay attention to this.
And the answer is still just decarbonizing
Yeah.
the energy system anyway. So
Yeah. That was my title of talk today, decarbonizing. So, as I said, to me, a dollar is the currency. My currency is carbon dioxide. That's how I count. If driving, walking, how much saving I have on CO2, that's money in my pocket. Thinking.
No, I don't. I think it was very well answered already. But we actually do have in the mitigation of use of green technology, we have a whole section on energy solutions for data centers, where there are a bunch of solutions for how they can increase their energy efficiency and switch to renewable energy. There's actually quite a lot going on in that field also because there's a lot of demand for it. So it's not only a matter of placing the data centers in a cold environment, but if they have to be closer to the users, then there are also quite a number of solutions already coming out on that. I remember there's also a solution from IBM to actually place it in the data centers underwater, so they have ample cooling directly from the water surrounding it. So that's also a possibility, but it's coming.
Well, thank you very much for your patience. And if you go to iee.org and talk sustainability, you'll see a lot of information. And one more thing. Hey, forget it. Forget it. Give me the flyers, brochures.